Hi there, today we're going to take a look at how to create a truss. We're going to use something called a jig, which is going to be used basically to put your pieces in there. It's going to keep the pieces in line and straight, keep them from wiggling on you. So this jig is really important. You'll be using it pretty much every time you're working on a truss or part of your bridge. Before you get to placing your pieces, you'll want to put a piece of wax paper over the top to make sure that any gluing that you do stays on the wax paper and doesn't accidentally glue your truss to your jig. That would be bad. Now you'll notice that this jig has two different sizes. This is what the width of a truss would be. A finished truss looks something like this. Okay, so I can see that this truss was probably somewhere between this. It was probably about a 69, but it's a little bit too big at this point to fit in there. So depending on the size of your truss that you want, you can pick the 69 millimeters or the 80 millimeters for a slightly larger truss size. So you would go down with your wax paper when you're ready to place your pieces and start your gluing. For now, we're gonna go ahead and measure first our pieces that are going to fit in here. So we're gonna get a top and a bottom rail for our truss. This would be our top rail here. And you're gonna need to measure the length of balsa wood here to get it the correct length. So for our bridge building competition, we have a minimum distance between the piers of 400 millimeters. Now we have to remember that that's between the piers. So from pier to pier, there's gotta be 400 millimeters. Okay, and then we have to leave a little bit of extra space for the pier on either end. So the length of this rail actually needs to be longer than 400. I'm gonna go ahead and make this one 440. That way we've got some space for our pier. So I'm gonna go ahead and line up my meter stick here, and I'm gonna place my balsa wood next to it. And if you remember from conversions, 440 millimeters would be the same as 44 centimeters. So I'm just gonna make a little mark right about there where I want to make my cut. Now before I do any cutting on my truss or my bridge, I'm gonna measure it twice. So I'm gonna line this up again. I'm gonna look closely here, and yep, that's 440, which is what I want, okay? So now that I've got that measured, I'm gonna move these out of the way for just a minute. I'm going to show you what our chopper looks like, what we'll be using to cut the balsa wood with. So this is one of the choppers, and you'll notice that there's a blade here. This is a razor blade, so it's very sharp. You want to make sure that you keep your fingers out of the way here. Never put your finger underneath that blade because it will cut you. Couple tips. When you are putting your piece of wood under here, you're going to want to line it up. So there's my pencil mark right there. Okay, you're gonna wanna be looking from the side view, the side of your chopper as you are getting ready to put it down. That way you make sure that the blade actually goes right down where you made your cut mark. And you'll notice right now this piece of wood is tilted a little bit on my board. I don't wanna do that because then I'm gonna create a crooked line here. So I'm gonna line this up on these lines that are down here, these grid lines. Okay, I've checked to make sure that the blade is right on my pencil mark and it's lined up on the line. So I'm gonna go ahead and push down and cut through that balsa wood, okay? Now, if it doesn't cut all the way, that's okay. You can just snap it like that. And sometimes you can push the opposite direction actually, and it should just pop off like that, okay? So this is my top rail. I need to go ahead and make another one for my bottom rail of my truss. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my meter stick again. And I'm going to measure the length here to make sure it's 440 on this one as well. So there's 440 right there. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one. All right, so I'm gonna line this up straight across the line. And I'm gonna get my pencil mark in place, and I'm gonna go slowly to make sure that it's lined up accurately, no fingers are in the way. And I'm gonna cut, okay? Always make sure you put the blade down when you're not using it. Sometimes it'll stay up like that. That's not safe. This is not a safe position to have your chopper, because if someone's not paying attention and their finger's nearby, it could fall on their fingers. So always make sure that handle goes down when you're done. Okay. All right. I'm gonna pop that open. Okay, now I have two pieces. They are both 440 millimeters. These are gonna make the top and bottom rails of my truss. So remember, this is my truss that I'm going for. These would be like my top and bottom rails down here, okay? Now these individual pieces here are called struts, and we're going to need to measure these to get the correct distance between these two rails. So we're gonna use that jig I showed you a second ago to measure the height of these. But your design here, especially when you get to your bridge, you can change the shape of your truss here to have different verticals, different number of diagonals going in different directions. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. You can change this up and be a little bit creative with how you want to do it. But keep in mind the forces that'll be playing on your truss and ultimately your bridge. Remember, you want to counteract that compression and tension that's happening as the force is being applied from the top down. Okay, so let's get this lined up in my jig. Here's our jig. I'm gonna go ahead and put my wax paper on. I've got my bottom and top rail, so you can see. I want to start here in the middle. So if I'm starting with a vertical in the middle, I want to measure this length. So remember, this was 440. So half of that would be 220, would be the midpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that right now, 220. There's my middle point there, and my middle point here. Okay. Next, I need to measure the width here. Now it says 80 millimeters, but I'm going to go ahead and measure it just to be sure, and good reason I'm doing that because it's actually not quite 80. Now maybe from here to here it's closer to 80 from the width here to here, but I want from the inside of this rail to the inside of this one, which is actually more like 65. So I'm actually going to get a piece of wood here. I'm going to place it in here, and I'm going to measure right where it would fit, right about there. Okay, and you want these struts to fit in snug. You do not want a gap there. It will not stay very well. If all you're doing is depending on glue, that's not going to stay very well when pressure is applied. So you want to have this as snug as you can up against the railing pieces. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that first vertical piece. I'll line it up here. Okay. Okay, and then before I even try to glue, I'm just going to make sure that that actually fits. Now you'll notice this will happen from time to time when you go to put your piece in and you realize maybe it's a little too wiggly. If you've got a lot of space in there, you may want to cut a slightly bigger piece. You do need to leave a little bit of space for the glue, but if there's too much wiggle room there, go ahead and recut. This is why it's important to measure twice. Okay, so let me try this again. I'm gonna actually just mark right below that line this time. Okay, recut over here. Okay. Okay, and now I've got a piece that's a little bit too big. Oh man, what do I do? Okay, don't worry. It's better to have a slightly bigger piece than too small. It's hard to work with too small. Now, if it's really close, you can actually just take a piece of sandpaper and sand off the edge. If you've got a little bit more than you need there, you can try and cut it. This one would be close enough that I would actually try to sand off maybe that little bit here. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've sanded down this piece. And whenever you're sanding down, you can use sandpaper, even a little nail file will work well. You want to make sure that the end of it is as flat as possible so that when you go to put this piece in, it's flush with the railing on top or bottom. And that way it's getting as much surface contact with the two rails rather than just maybe being at one point. Otherwise that'll create a weak spot for you on your bridge. Okay, so I'm actually not putting any glue in yet. I'm gonna get all my pieces measured and cut on here before I start gluing. Once you start gluing, that's it. It's Gorilla Glue. It's gonna be real hard to get those pieces pulled out. You're gonna probably break pieces. So gluing is the very last step when you're absolutely sure you've got the pieces the right size and in the right place. Now, before I move further, I've got my first vertical piece in. I'm gonna make some measurements along the side here because I want this to be symmetrical. And if you're using a blueprint like this one, you're gonna wanna have this measured out in advance. So if this whole thing is 440, and I know that my midpoint would be half of that, so this is 220. Then one more midpoint would be, drum roll please, 110. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and measure that, right? So 220 was from the middle, you'll notice, of this pier, this strut, to here. So I want half of that, which would be 110, all right, or 110 or 11 centimeters. Okay. So this is going to be my next vertical piece, which I would go in and measure to be the same as this piece right here. I would go ahead and measure that vertical piece and put that in as well. So let me just do that really quickly. And then we're gonna take a look at how to put a diagonal piece in. Okay, so there's my mark for that one. Okay, got my cut. Okay, there we go. I like to stick these vertical pieces in first because they tend to keep these railings in place and keep them from wiggling around. And this one's pretty tight, so I may need to sand it down just a little bit before I add glue, or it might just squirrel the glue out and then the glue isn't really working. Okay, so I've got a vertical piece here. I would also make a mark the same distance away, so 110 on this side, because I need another vertical piece down here. I'm not going to make that vertical piece right now when I get to how to make a diagonal, but I would have another vertical piece here. And also, if we look at our blueprint here, we would need another vertical piece here and here. So we would follow the same step to get all of these vertical pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertical pieces. Okay, let's take a look at how to make these diagonal pieces. These are going to be really important because they add a lot of the strength to your bridge with that triangle design. Now this piece is a little too small, so I'm going to go ahead and get one of my other pieces of wood out. Okay, so what I'm going to do to find my angles that I'm going to cut on this diagonal pieces, I'm going to place this piece right across that corner for either end. Then taking my pencil, I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to basically follow this vertical line of this strut, right, up through this piece like that. And then I'm going to do the same going this way. I'm going to follow this line, kind of run straight across like that. These are my cut lines here and here, okay? And that's going to hopefully fit right in the corner. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to run a line this way. And then I'm going to run one down like that, and those would be my cut lines for this one, okay? All right, when I've got that, off to the chopper. Let's go ahead and start some cutting. Again, go slowly. If your chopper begins to splinter your wood, it probably means that the blade is dull. I'm going to tell a teacher and they can replace the blade for you. Okay, then we're going to do this line. Okay. All right, pretty good. Okay, so you can see that the tip there is pointed, so it should fit. Let's try it out. In this corner, pretty good. Okay, not too bad. I can always sand it a little bit if I need to. All right, let's make our other cut and see if this fits. Okay, there's one. And then another one here. Okay, got it. I can tell that it hasn't been cut quite straight. The chopper didn't get it quite straight. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of sanding to flatten this down, make it as smooth as possible so it fits in those corners. Okay, all right, and it fits. May need to sand it just a tiny bit, but that's pretty close. So I want to try to avoid gaps. So if I see gaps, you may have to sand, just go slowly at first, okay? But this is pretty close. It's actually pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and glue these pieces so you can see how that step is done. And then from there, you would basically just repeat the same thing. You're going to create diagonals that go using the same method I just showed you in this direction here. Okay, so you have two that go like that. Another one that diagonals that go here, and your other verticals here, and then on the ends. Once you've got all your pieces cut, then you just have to do the gluing. So I'm going to glue now, even though I don't recommend you glue at this stage. Get all your pieces cut first and then glue last. But let me show you how I do that. So I'm going to take a piece here. I start with my vertical middle, and I'm going to have a little bit of glue on a plate. And all I'm going to do is dab that glue on either end, and then get that pushed down right there. Okay, now you can take your finger and actually just kind of smear that around. These are called joints, okay? Right here, where you have one piece connecting to another. Now this is a weak spot in a bridge or in a structure. So we're gonna make something called a joint plate. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is glue in your pieces, but then you'll use this other piece of balsa wood. It's real thin, and these are gonna act as joint plates. So we're gonna cut a little piece here, and they don't have to be real pretty, but you're just gonna cut a big enough piece to cover a little bit of that joint. So they don't need to be real big. I just cut a little bit here for you. So here's a joint plate, pretty small. I'm just gonna go ahead and dab it in glue on one of the sides like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and place it over the crack of that joint. Now I put a little too much glue, so you wanna try and not have glue just globbing everywhere, because it does add weight and it doesn't look very pretty. Okay, so now this one is, maybe I would want it to go this way actually. That might be a better idea. You can decide with your group. This way it kind of covers it and it's more in line with the rest of the strut. Okay, so I also need one of these down here. And when this is all dry, I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna add these joint plates to the other side too. That will like double up your reinforcement to prevent breakage on these points. Okay, let's put the diagonal piece in. So same idea, I'm gonna put glue on both of those flat sides on both ends. Okay, so I've got glue on the tips here and on the bottom. I'm just gonna go ahead and place it like so, except maybe I got it backwards. Let's see if I got it backwards. No. Oh, there we go. I think that's right. Okay, that's definitely a little tight. So, and it moved my pieces, which I would probably need to go back. I probably should have sanded that down just a tad bit. Okay, because now this one's a little bit crooked here. So I would actually, if I were doing this, not in fast forward for you guys, I would actually probably glue my vertical pieces in and then make sure that this fits really well before you start gluing. Because now if you notice, this is off just a tad bit here. And so that could affect, you know, the overall accuracy of this bridge. Okay, then I would glue the rest of my pieces. I would just basically continue this pattern, whether it's a diagonal or verticals. All those pieces cover your joints with the joint plates. Once that side is dry, probably need a day to let that dry. Flip it over, put your joint plates on the other side, let that dry, and then it's ready to be tested. All right, good luck building your trusses.